Hello, everybody. Good day and welcome. Thank you for coming here. Before we start the demonstration, before we start the introduction to the demonstration, I simply want to introduce myself. My name is Irwin Hirsh, and as you can hear by my accent, I'm Swedish. I live in Malmö, Sweden, across the water from Copenhagen. And for the last 30 years or so, I've been working within pharma. I had various roles in CMC and quality. And then for the last 6, 7 years, I've been a consultant. And about 3, 4 years ago, I came across the Presto tool, and I love it because it's based in Lean, which is the fundamentals of my thinking. And I like to use this tool when I'm supporting my clients in their needs, whether they're strategy or problem solving or process improvements. And so this tool I find helps with all of that. And I'd like to explain to you how this 6M tool fits into that business management paradigm of the Presto PDCA platform. I want to explain to you where it comes from. I want to explain to you how it fits into the business platform, and I want to explain to you a little bit of how it works, and then I'll hand the microphone over to Andrew to run the demo. So if you're not familiar with 6Ms, you probably know them under another name, something called the Ishikawa diagram or in a fishbone, and is primarily used as a problem-solving tool for root cause analysis. So in Presto, what I find really interesting here, it's been reimagined as a proactive risk assessment system and integrated into the business management platform to function as a continuous improvement tool. So that's why it was created, because there's often, I find at least, that in risk management, it's not really a systematic approach. It's more a collection of one-off events. And they come together, they do the work, they solve the problem, they document the risk and the mitigations, but then things tend to get documented for compliance purposes. But as living knowledge, it's not. It just lies forgotten in a folder somewhere. And so the goal of this tool, with the integration into the Presto knowledge management system, it becomes a proactive tool where the risk management knowledge is living and accessible, and it becomes a resource to enhance process performance. So that's what I really like about it. So, sorry, Andrew, that's the first slide. Can you please go there briefly? This is the overview slide that goes with my little chat there. And so it's just basically to summarize again, it's a systematic approach. If you use this tool within Presto, everything is documented, it's all living and interactive, and it enhances process management and allows you to use risk management as a continuous improvement tool. Next slide, please. Thanks. So in this demo, you'll see how the 6Ms are structured as a tool to systematically assess risk from many different angles. The focus is on manufacturing processes, and it's a way to identify potential failures proactively. So if you own a process or you're responsible for a process, this really acts as a proactive tool, kind of like a preliminary hazards analysis, if you're familiar with that tool. It's a way to use this tool as a checklist to proactively look and manage the risks in your process. So this systematic approach and this preliminary screening of hazards, it brings great value to your system. I don't know if you've spent a lot of time working with more formal and complex tools like the FMECA that's all over pharma, or an HACCP if you're in food or cosmetics, or even a HAZOP if you're more engineering based. The issue is that it's a rather complex tool, and then rather starting from scratch with your complex tool, you get a really good focus on what matters. There's this pre-screening of the hazards that are directly related and suspected of being at risk for bringing harm to your patient or your company. And you can use this as a way to spend a focus on what's most relevant in terms of the experts are putting their cognitive efforts towards mitigation of risks, not arguing about whether or not this particular hazard is relevant to the risk assessment. You're really focusing on what matters. And this is great, not only for accelerating the workflow, but also getting the most out of the work that you do, because the experts are focused really on what matters. And if you own the process, well, then you can document actually the work that's done to make sure your process is under control. And that's all supported by the Presto Risk Management Dashboard. And in the dashboard, you can see through the knowledge management system that all of the assessments, the mitigations, the data on the levels of control in your manufacturing system, you can put in the data, you can put in the documents, or you can just have links into your document management system that show all of this information. And this way, Presto's knowledge management system, we can track the risks over time. We can revisit past assessments and mitigation work if it turns out that we need a reality check. And it's all a really excellent way to not only perform continuous improvement, but document it and have it systematically run across your system. So all this will become clear, how this works within Presto. And we're going to start off with Andrew showing the guided questions that are based on the 6M. And hopefully if this resonates with you, then you'll really get a lot out of it. So next slide, please. So just briefly, the take-home message is here that continuous improvement should be proactive. So if you think about CAPA and risk management, that's kind of backwards. I think we need to think about PACA, preventative actions, driving continuous improvement. Sure, we're going to have to take some corrective actions, but it's much better to be proactive, identify the risks, and manage them through tools like this. The knowledge management is what's really key to making the preventative actions and the corrective actions not recurring. We have accessible knowledge. We have the live links on the dashboard to the risk assessments, to the risk reports, and to the raw data of the risk assessments themselves. So this is really what keeps it alive, is the living knowledge. And so by having living knowledge, by having a preventative mode for continuous improvement, we're able to accelerate our work in risk management, whether it's solving a problem or simply being proactive. And so that's the real take-home message here. Me, myself, when it comes to working with my clients, my vision and what I'm going to try and implement with a customer coming up soon is, okay, so we're in CAPA mode. We're correcting something that has failed. But once we go through the process of using this tool, we'll be able to have it anchored there. So as we move through more and more cycles in this specific area, it becomes better and better. And then once there's a failure in another area, we can go through the tool. And so slowly over time, we will have anchored all of the information. We'll be improving the system steadily, slowly, and surely, getting more information into a living system that will drive the business forward. So that's why I'm very excited about this 6M tool from an operations level. The 6M tool is part of the overall risk management feature of Presto, but we're going to focus in on this manufacturing aspect. So thank you for your attention. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Andrew Lente, who's one of the co-creators of this tool. So he's at a really good space to tell you about the tool and its new features. So I turn the microphone over to Andrew. So take it away, and everybody, thank you. Just before I do, though, Andrew and myself are happy to talk to you about this tool and the Presto PDCA business management platform. And if you want to contact me afterwards to discuss this, that's fine. I'm also happy to talk to you about specific or generally about your risk management needs in your operations or in your company overall, whether it's supply chain or manufacturing or even just quality risks. That's my thing. So happy to talk to you about it. You can just contact me. You can find me on LinkedIn, and we'll share contact information after this is over. Thank you, everybody. Andrew, back to you.